Welcome to This Week at Four Horsemen, where we are in the universal century. The year is 0079. The Earth sphere is at war between the forces of the Earth Federation with their ace pilot, Amaran Ray, the White Ghost, and of course, the Principality of Zeon, Zeon, and their ace pilot, Shar Orionable, the Red Comet.
Are you feeling okay?
No.
You're very excited.
I sat through 8 hours of security deposit training today, and I did not slam my head into the concrete upon leaving the building.
That is
small victories. Small victories. Welcome to This Week at Four Horsemen, Mr. Ray. What is This Week at Four Horsemen?
This Week at Four Horsemen is our weekly show to discuss some events, some sales promotions, other nerdy events in and around the shop.
Yes, and we're going to start this episode with a giveaway. Big thing, we have a new podcast out. It's called Between the Panels. It's the Four Horsemen comic book podcast. You can find it out now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But we want to direct you over to our YouTube page. We're doing a contest. We'd like you to go to the video on our YouTube page, comment with a comic book title that you would like for us to discuss on the show. Then we're going to put everybody who's commented into a pot and draw a name for a free trade paperback. We're going to do that live on the show next week. So go to our YouTube page, go to YouTube, search for Horsemen, find Between the Panels, put your favorite comic book in a comment, and we're going to remind you about this in the show later on as well. So let's move on to comic books.
Oh,
crossover Spawn and Witchblade.
Spawn's one of my favorite characters ever.
And I like Witchblade.
Spawn's great.
Yeah,
I know nothing. I really don't know much about Witchblade.
And I really don't know anything about Spawn, but I.
Alex just stroked out. That's how we killed him.
But this is a crossover between the two with a medieval theme, and it comes out tomorrow. So definitely something to check out. If nothing else, I'm sure it'll have amazing art.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And we have the final issue of Batman White Knight.
Yeah.
The controversial Batman series that is kind of taking the DC world by storm, where Joker's the hero and Batman's the villain, and
flip the tables. Well, sometimes I think that's kind of how it's working anyway.
Yeah, but world. In this he's like an actual,
really.
Or he's running for office and he's working with the police, and it's kind of cringy, and but the story is really cool. It's just hard for me personally to swallow the Joker as a hero. That's a pill that's about this big.
Yeah.
And then from DC, we have the first issue of Justice League No Justice. And this is the summer miniseries that's kind of dealing with the wake of Dark Knight's Metal, which is the biggest DC event in long time.
Like forever.
Long
forever.
Time. Love you, long time.
All right. The character with the big giant eye. Who is that?
That's the...
That's not the...
That's the Starro? Maybe?
Judge? I have no idea.
I'm Marvel guy. We have a Superman storybook that I've read a couple times to the kids that has that character in it.
I'm going to call him Patrick.
Starro. Yes.
Starro. Thank you, Blaine.
Scryfish. Got it.
Scryfish.
Got it. All right, moving on to Marvel history.
Despicable Deadpool.
Number 300.
Did he actually make 300, or did he?
No, this
is the 900 issue he did a while back.
No, this is issue
really
300. It's a triple-sized issue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the story has to do with Steve Rogers leading a team of Avengers out to smack down the Deadpool.
Oh,
which I assume is most of the people behind Deadpool.
Yeah.
But
just leave Deadpool alone. Leave Deadpool alone.
Surprised that they didn't push this one back to next week.
To
coincide with the movie.
Yeah. Well, people are going to be all over Deadpool the next month anyway. It doesn't matter.
It's not really going to matter.
Yeah. Yep. Did you see the one last week? Last Deadpool? It was You Are Deadpool?
Yeah.
That was really cool.
We featured that.
Yeah.
And as a reminder,
I finally got to read it.
That is weekly, so issue 2 comes out this week, and
is it weekly?
It's only 4 or 5 issues.
Okay.
So get on it. That's if you didn't see last week's episode, that's the Choose Your Own Adventure Deadpool Break the Fourth Wall comic.
Yep.
Exactly what it sounds like. And what we have?
Now we got Venom number 1.
Yes, this is just also new Venom run with Eddie Brock and a gargoyle.
And he clearly is not liking that lightning.
If I didn't know anything about comic books, I would have thought that this was a Kiss album cover.
It's very metal.
We need to. It also has Gene Simmons' tongue.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We need to bring that segment that you suggested, the misinterpretations of comic book covers. We really need to do that.
Comic book covers explained badly.
Yeah. Moving on.
Got a few Star Wars books. Who's the blue guy?
Thrawn.
I know who the blue guy is.
Who's the guy in the chair?
Oh, I have.
I can't even pretend. Grand Moff Wilhuff Tarkin.
Look, he just looks so annoyed with everybody around him.
I mean, he's Tarkin. That's what he does.
He really does.
He really does. This Thrawn book is really great. It's an adaptation of the Timothy Zahn novel, not the old one from the 80s, the one that came out a year or two ago. It's really wonderful.
Yep.
Highly recommend checking it out. Also, Studio Mode Transfer. We have another new Star Wars book.
We do.
Issue number 1 of Star Wars: The Last Jedi, the movie adaptation. This is beautiful. When
I did not notice
the Rebel,
symbol,
the
yeah.
Rising Phoenix symbol, yeah.
That's cool.
And the Rising Phoenix is a bird,
right?
And the Porgs are birds, and they're like standing in the foreground in awe of the Rising Phoenix.
Those Porgs.
Because the little birds.
I was not a fan of the Porgs.
Of course you weren't. They were
cute and adorable. They're the Ewoks
they were
of this movie.
Cute and adorable, but they actually were kind of born from a necessity.
Right, because of the island.
Then, of course, they inserted them in other areas of the movie. They didn't need to be. If you haven't heard, the Porgs were actually originally puffins that they couldn't relocate, so they added a CG layer to them. Now, why were they on the Falcon? That's a different story, but this cover is gorgeous.
That's beautiful. That's really cool.
These Marvel adaptations are usually actually pretty good. They give you a little more information that's not in the movie. Sometimes they take some of the deleted scenes and add them into the comics. They're pretty cool.
Yep, cool.
Moving on.
Got a staff pick coming up.
Staff pick from Ron.
So
Cobra Kai.
So Seth was a little under the weather, so he really wanted to watch this new series on YouTube Red.
As I do.
Yeah. So he just wanted to veg and watch. So I got to watch the first couple of episodes of this. I was not a fan of Karate Kid when it first came out.
Bad, Ron.
It was okay. It was one of those movies I watched and just never thought really that much about. But this movie, it kind of takes from the viewpoint of Johnny, who got here, as opposed to Daniel, his, I guess, arch nemesis. Danielson. But it shows how he has a really, really bad string of days, and it kind of leads him down this path. And I'm only into like the third episode, but
I mean,
it's gone really well.
He was a jerk as a teenager when he was in high school. Should we all be judged by what we did in high school?
Actually, it explains a lot of that. And I really feel really bad for him. I felt bad for him as a teenager with some of the stuff that he was forced to do.
But what really excuses picking up your ex-girlfriend's stereo and smashing it on the beach?
It's true. I mean, he was not a good person back then, but he was also kind of painted into a lot of the corners that he was painted into.
That's true. But also, like I said, high school. Don't judge me based on what I did in high school.
No,
please.
Ever. Please, no.
God.
But check it out.
I had to tell my training class the Dead Rabbit story, and I'm not sure I ever told you the Dead Rabbit story.
I think you did.
All right, let's go.
Is it screen worthy?
No.
Okay. No. Moving on.
Not safe for this weekend for Horsemen. All right, the Versus series. Nicol Bolas, most powerful being in the magic lore, destroyed Sinestro.
Oh, he's got some book.
Obliterated him. He smacked that guy with a book. Smacked him pink.
Blaine says he judges you all the time, by the way.
You can judge me now. Just don't judge high school Ryan.
Oh, Ken's got my back, though. Ken never judges wrong.
That's probably a lie. All right, who won our comment contest this week?
So Angela picks it up with the best quote of the week. Sinestro has only mastered the power of fear in one universe.
Yes, and Nicol Bolas being a planeswalker.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Many planes.
Many planes. As many planes as there are sand grains in the desert.
I hate sand. It
gets everywhere. All right, moving on to this week's matchup. We have Mr. Potter, the boy who lived, versus the King of Goblins, Jareth.
Jareth. I know who I'm picking this, just because I want Jareth to win.
Okay, all right. I kind of also want Jareth to win.
Right.
But I'm going to try and approach this logically. And a lot of these, I just pick my favorite character of the two. I'm going to try to approach this logically. I think all that he really has going for him is that he's cool.
True.
What combat-worthy skills does he have?
Jareth has one other weapon that I will not say on the show.
Does it
It has a
is it
Facebook
the
page.
same? Is it the same name as a famous World War II battle?
Yes. Yes, it does. And
All right.
it has its own Facebook page.
All right. Yeah, but so they're both armed with wands.
Yes.
But what does that actually add to the fight?
Well, Jareth is also a king.
He is.
He is a king.
is.
Harry Potter is just a kid. He's just a kid.
But he's a boy. But his special power is that he lives.
But let me ask you this: at what age is Harry Potter? Because I think that would.
All right, we'll
change
say
the outcome.
he's 17. We'll say
Okay, so he's at the end of.
yeah. We'll say at the end of the story.
Sorry, Jareth.
Voldemort's dead. I mean,
sorry, buddy.
his whole thing is he's the boy who lived.
Right.
People try to kill him and he doesn't die. He literally should have died
Met like 100 times.
and twice actually should be dead.
Well, he
And-
did die once.
Well, so
Technically, he died.
you could say twice
Yeah.
at the beginning and at the end.
Oh, that's true.
And then he doesn't die either time. So what's
Keeps
this
coming
guy with glass balls and
Look, Ken says Jareth's got a labyrinth. You
He
put
okay.
him in. You put Harry on it. Done. Never
no,
seen him again.
actually, he does go into a labyrinth in Goblet
Oh,
of
he
Fire.
does. He gets
and
out of it.
He gets out of it.
Gets a
Yeah.
port key.
Somebody
Daggone it.
Somebody said that in the comments that he didn't do so well when he
In
was
the last labyrinth.
But actually, he did. He won. He
true.
made it to the end. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And there was a Sphinx in that labyrinth.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I think Harry wins this. Although
Come on, Jareth.
I-
I believe in you, Jareth.
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Yeah.
Cast your vote.
Moving on to events.
Last week we had so many things. Free Comic Book Day was Saturday, as it is the first Saturday of every year, or first Saturday of May every year. Yep,
First Saturday in May.
every year. We had a ton of books given out. We actually brought out about 12,000 back issues from the vaults.
And
Lots
only
of good
about
stuff.
half of them were Archie.
Yeah, the other half are Mickey Mouse.
Nothing wrong with Mickey Mouse.
There was a lightsaber duel that broke out halfway through.
Only one
There
this
may
year?
have been some arms severed. You know, we're getting those stitched up. It'll be fine. There was one picture where there was a Han Solo that didn't quite make it.
Oh.
Kylo took him out. Had some Dragon Ball players, as always. Love that community. Guys did a great job.
Yeah, that community's coming along.
Yeah. This is some of the crowd. As things were kind of winding down, people were making their choices.
Ron Davis taking pictures when the crowds are leaving.
Yeah. It's the only time I think about it.
I know how to advertise for my store.
Wait till everyone's gone.
All right, this is a calendar image of this week's events. If you need more details on any of these, please go to facebook.com/ForestmanComics and click on the event tab. But right now, we're going to talk about the Dominaria Sealed League, and here's Ron to tell you what he and Wyatt have cooked up this time.
So basically, when you come in for the Sealed League this time, you're going to pick one of the two sides, Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network.
Cartoons! Cartoon
No,
Network!
Nickelodeon. Invader Zim. Invader Zim.
Never
where's
seen a
that?
single episode.
So good. Angry Beavers. I forgot about Angry
I
Beavers.
love Angry Beavers, but
Yep.
Adult Swim, man.
Yeah. So basically, the team that has the most average played games is going to win stuff.
Extra prizes.
Extra stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Extra prizes.
He's knocking it out of the park with these promotions. You're gonna win some more stuff.
There's
There's stuff and things.
There's
and
all kinds of
it's just
things.
Great.
But yeah, join the Dominaria Sealed League. It is running for a month, I believe, and this is the second week.
Yeah, I think after this, there's 2 more weeks.
Yep.
You don't have to have signed up during week 1. You can sign up anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah. Don't really recommend signing up on the last day, but
You
we won't
probably
stop
could.
you. All right, and we also have a special Hero Clicks event. Turns out tomorrow is the, did you know this? The 10th
didn't.
anniversary
I did.
of the Speed Racer film.
Go Speed Racer.
Go
Speed
Speed
Racer.
Racer.
Go Speed Racer. Go. That's a good movie.
That was a movie. It was 100% a movie.
It was actually a movie.
So in celebration of that movie, our Hero Clicks community is doing a special Speed Racer event. It is this Wednesday at 6:45 with a $5 entry. It is the Golden Age format with 400-point builds, and you have to have a vehicle figure as a part of your team.
Mach 5. There should have been a Mach 5 in there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I really want to mock that. But, And we have an event type that we don't have every week here
Yeah.
at Four Horsemen.
Yeah, this is a kind of a special one. Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft. It's a Witchwood launch party. It's happening Saturday at 5. It's got a $5 entry, and you have to have 3 decks. And we're going to have some Battle.net gift cards to give out to the winners.
Yeah, and we're going to raffle away one gift card, so definitely have a chance as long as you come and play. The way to get raffle tickets is just play with Witchwood themed cards, and you will get your name in for that last gift card.
Nice.
Yes, and like we said earlier, Between the Panels is up.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was really good.
This is our comic book podcast that's in a book club theme. Last month we read the Batman the Killing Joke by Alan Moore and Brian Bolliard. It's up on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We are currently working on getting it on iTunes and Stitcher, but it is a process. So that'll be up soon. Definitely check it out. It's really cool. Remember, go to our YouTube video of Between the Panels, comment on it of a book that you would like to see us discuss on a future episode. We're going to get your name in a drawing for a free trade paperback. We're going to pull that live on the show next week.
Blaine keeps saying that read Thanos wins. Okay.
But we do already
next
have next month's or this month's book picked out. So in May we will be reading Metropole by Ted McKeever, and the new episode will be out on the first Saturday of June. So the new episode will come out the first Saturday of each month. So if you'd like to get the full experience, read Ted McKeever's Metropole. Tune in with us the first Saturday in June, and you can participate in the discussion as well.
Yep.
Yeah, the first episode was a big hit. We had a pretty decent discussion going on in the Facebook chat as we were streaming it. I'm very happy with the project. It was fun to do.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'm going to make Ron read a manga. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Then you're not going to be allowed on the show.
I'll have a stand-in that day.
No, you won't.
Cardboard cutout.
You're going to do it. You're going to do it. It's going to be great. All right, enough of this comic book stuff. Let's talk about Star Wars! All right, so we got two small things on the docket this week. Of course, Solo is coming out 2 weeks from Thursday.
Not soon
Can
enough.
Can you believe that we're 2 weeks away from a Star Wars movie?
I know.
It doesn't feel like it.
No.
The premiere is this week on the 10th, and you can actually watch the coverage at StarWars.com. You can watch the red carpet and everything, all those fancy stars walking down it. Up. And then Chewbacca's going to be walking down it, and some reporter's going to be like, Chewbacca, who are you wearing?
Fur. Yak.
But you can watch that 5 p.m. specific time at StarWars.com. But more importantly, Ron Howard did something pretty cool. If you haven't checked it out, he did a Star Wars meets Arrested Development video where, if you've ever seen Arrested Development, it has a very unique opening. And he did a Star Wars version of it, and you should really check it out.
That's really cool.
This is just a promotional image of it,
yeah.
But definitely go to YouTube and type in Star Wars Arrested Development. You will not regret spending 3 minutes of your life doing that.
Speaking of regretting minutes.
Yes. So we're on to our top 10 movies that should have had sequels.
Anything Star Wars.
We're going to bring up number 10 for both of us. I'm going to read Ron's, and Ron's going to read mine. Ron has Mars Attacks. Couldn't agree with it more.
Yes.
What do you have to say there, Ron?
All right, so the reason I wanted read mine?
Yeah, no.
Mine.
Never mind, just do yours.
Okay. Am I defending mine or reading yours?
Just tell us about Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks. The reason Mars Attacks is here is I think the movie wrapped up pretty darn good. This is actually for my daughter. She hates this movie, and I would love
this movie.
Love to see more of these on the screen. All right, so you have Kick-Ass 2?
Yes, I have Kick-Ass 2, and not because I particularly liked Kick-Ass 2, but because I hated how they ended the comics with Kick-Ass 3. And I want them to make a third movie so they can redo the ending.
They can fix it.
I love Kick-Ass. It's one of my favorite comic books, but the ending is so, to me, it's awful.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into specifics because spoilers, and maybe they will make a third movie someday. Yeah. But I want that third movie just so we can get a different ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, number 9. Ron, tell us about The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element. It was a really, really good movie. It was built as Star Wars for the 90s, and I laughed at it back then, but looking back on it, it really was a solid movie. I don't know what you could do with it, but you have this all-powerful being. Where to go from there?
I love The Fifth Element. I'm not really sure where to go with a sequel.
Yeah.
But I'd be hyped to see one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think they do. I mean, especially with the effects of today. Number 9, you've got Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. I don't know why there aren't 5 Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, there
movies.
needs to be 100 of those.
Now, of course, obviously, we're missing Alan Rickman now, which would be a shame. But
Yep.
I'd still like to see this happen.
Oh yeah.
And I can't imagine that Tim Allen would say no to this.
I can't. What else is he doing?
I mean, he does have a hit sitcom.
I've seen his schedule. He's not busy.
That is funny, but he actually does have a hit sitcom, so he is kind of busy.
That's true.
But he should really drop that show, and he should do more
Two more
Galaxy
Galaxy Quest.
Sigourney, we need you.
Sigourney.
Yeah.
Ripley.
I love Galaxy Quest. And at number 8, surprised it's not higher on your list, you have Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. I don't know why they haven't made one of these yet. They keep talking about it, and they keep talking about it. It'll never happen. I think without Rick Moranis and John
Candy.
There's no way.
Spoiler alert: Spaceballs is also on my list, much much higher. But
Yep.
I don't actually think that I knew what it was called, Alex. I just didn't want to say it because I hate it. I don't think I could ever stand to see it happen without John Candy.
Oh yeah.
Rick
it
Moranis
would
is
not-
alive, isn't he?
Yeah. He's retired.
Okay.
And you have Cowboy Bebop the movie.
Okay, so Cowboy Bebop is one of the most celebrated animes of all time, and part of the reason why it's so highly celebrated is because it's short. It's only 26 episodes. They didn't sell out. They didn't make 1 million episodes, even though they totally could have, and the fans would have went along with it. They have these 26 episodes of pure gold that are just perfect and wonderful, and also one movie. Now, something that they could do to respect the franchise and give us more Bebop, because we want more Bebop, is make a second movie.
Yeah.
And it's something that the fans would not only be okay with because it's still respectful of the franchise, but it's something that we would be excited about.
Yeah.
And also, I think that for me, the first movie, is one of the only like small blemishes on the franchise. It has a really strong finish, and it kind of ends with kind of softly.
Right.
Like it's one of those movies where the third act you kind of phase out of.
Yeah.
So I think a second movie would be a really great choice. And before anybody says anything about how the series ended, you just make it take place before the end of the series, just like the first movie. But yeah. Number 7, you had Buckaroo Banzai.
Buckaroo Banzai.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. It has Jeff Goldblum in it, though. That's all you need to know.
I like Jeff Goldblum.
And you'd love this movie. What was it? Is it Adventures in the Eighth Dimension or something? It's just a really, really off-the-wall movie from the 80s. I don't even know how to explain it. There's aliens, and there's, just all kinds of
I don't think
weird stuff.
I've literally never heard of this movie.
Yeah, it's one of those...
You gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's a cult classic kind of thing. Very, very... Yeah, you would not...
So why does it need a
about
sequel?
Because it was an awesome movie, and I want to see Jeff Goldblum some more.
Because reasons, Ryan. Because reasons.
Because reasons. All right, you've got Lupin 3 versus Detective Conan the Barbarian.
I want to hit you right now. Lupin the Third versus Detective Conan. So, to the anime illiterate, Lupin is the premier anime thief, and Detective Conan is the premier anime detective. And the completely separate franchises, no relation whatsoever, and through a miracle of licensing, they were brought together for the ultimate crossover movie.
So this is like Holmes versus Moriarty.
No, because they're from the same story.
Right. Okay.
This is like a good. This is okay. Imagine
Holmes
mysteries.
versus Danny Ocean.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's probably good. This movie was great. It was ultimate hype for Lupin the Third fans, for Detective Conan fans. Just the anime community in general was so hyped for this movie. The week it came out, I premiered it. We did a big thing at Fairmont Anime Society in the library. Huge screen. Everybody came out. This movie is amazing. However, it's not a versus movie. At no point in this movie do they go head to head. They team up very early to fight a third-party villain.
Really?
Yeah. So we need a sequel
where they fight each
where
other.
they actually fight each other, because that has to happen through a second miracle of licensing. Because All right, number 6.
6.
You had Tron Legacy.
Tron Legacy. All right, so we have somebody that comes out of the computer world into the real world and just hops on a bike and runs off. And they're going to leave us with that. They can't do that. We need to know what happens. How does she go back? Do they come looking for her? We don't know. We may never know because Tron Legacy did not do very well.
How many years was it between Tron and
Oh,
Tron
it was
Legacy?
decades, yeah.
We just watched Sunday night. We just watched the new Jumanji movie, and it was really good.
It was okay. I was lukewarm on new Jumanji.
Here's the thing. I don't expect you to like it because it's not your kind of movie.
No.
But that sequel took 22 years to make, and we were talking about if they made a third one, and I did the math, and I realized that if they made a third one, I wouldn't see it till I was 51. And I was
I'll be retired.
No, don't make a third Jumanji.
And you've got Ghostbusters too?
Okay, before I want to preface this by saying I do love Ghostbusters 2, and any ill things that I say about it, I'm not holding against it. Ghostbusters 2 is kind of a lazy movie. And it's from an era where trilogies were kind of the standard.
Yeah, they were expected to make a trilogy and make one fast.
And I know why there wasn't a Ghostbusters 3 because Bill Murray's a prima donna and Harold Ramis didn't want to work with him, and I understand that. But we want it so bad.
Yeah.
We wanted it. I just wish it would have happened.
They can film them separately.
And of course now,
later.
Of course now it'll never happen because Harold Ramis unfortunately has passed on, which is unfortunate. Because how great would they come out of retirement and they're all old geezers? How great would that movie be?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
But unfortunately, it will never happen. Rest in peace,
Nope.
Harold.
Sorry, Harold.
And number 5, we agree here. You had Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. Yeah, there needs to be one of these a year. And you've got The Simpsons. I almost put Simpsons movie on.
No one will ever argue that The Simpsons have not sold out.
They sold out.
Why not give us a second movie? They're on season 29.
Oh, Blaine had a really good one. Ghostbusters versus Pinhead. No. That's a movie I would see.
I mean, I would see it, but last Sunday's episode, or it was 2 Sundays ago, they beat Gunsmoke in terms of episode count.
Right?
Yeah, and they.
Oh my gosh!
They did a Gunsmoke couch gag. It was actually really cool. But so why no second Simpsons movie? Just saying.
Just make one.
Just
make
do
one.
it.
You've got money. Number 4.
You had the Dark Crystal.
I put Dark Crystal on here for you because I know how much you love Dark Crystal.
Okay, so my only issue with this is that Dark Crystal ends with all evil being obliterated.
Yeah, it's like.
So where's the conflict for?
Oh, see, that's just it. There can never be a happy ending, especially in a world like that. There's got to be something real bad. Agra is around. I don't trust Agra.
She's not a villain. She's just.
Oh, she looks like a villain.
She does.
She looks.
I think you're profiling wrong.
Skeksis.
The Gelflings! We must eat the Gelflings!
That is a good Skeksis. You got Hobbit. I think wasn't there a sequel called Lord of the Rings?
No.
Oh, okay.
So this is The Hobbit 1977.
Oh, the animated one.
The animated one by Rankin and Bass.
Yep.
So a little background here. Oof. Rankin and Bass is the animation producers that did all of the classic Christmas animated thing, Little Drummer Boy and all that.
Yeah.
They did 2 J.R.R. Tolkien productions. They did The Hobbit and an adaptation of Book 3 of The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King.
Oh.
So they never did one for Fellowship or Two Towers. And as a kid, that made me want to smash my face into a wall. A different studio that I don't remember because the movie was bad did an animated adaptation of The Fellowship of the Ring, but it ran into about 1/3 of the Two Towers.
Right.
So 2/3 of the Two Towers has never been animated. 1/3 of the Two Towers has been animated, and The Fellowship of the Ring has been animated, but by a different studio that animated The Hobbit and The Return of the King. And oh my God, just somebody...
Your OCD is going
Somebody resurrect Rankin and Bass and make these movies.
Bring them out.
I cannot handle it. And you had the Iron Giant. Animation classic.
So at the end of Iron Giant, spoiler alert, all the parts are coming together. You think he's been destroyed, but now he's back. I mean, he's going to get all pulled back together. Where does he go? You can't hide this thing. He's really, really big. He is kind of a giant. So what do you do? What do you hang? He just hangs out.
Would it be a different kid? Would he like move on to another town and affect the lives of a new kid?
I thought about that. I wonder if it would be like if they would follow, what was his name? Holgrith or whatever? Hogard? Hogard. They like do
Hogard or Hogarth?
I think it's Hogard. I don't know.
I thought it was Hogarth. Yeah.
Hogarth. So would they do like a Toy Story thing where they follow him and Andy goes off to college and the Iron Giant's like sitting in his closet,
sitting on the porch,
it's like all sad,
waving by.
Superman. And you have Spaceballs,
which, as we said,
it's pretty high.
Is never going to happen. It could be number one for me.
Yeah. Yeah, Spaceballs.
It's such an obvious, but it's never going to happen, unfortunately.
That's sad.
And at number 2, you had District 9.
District 9. I hated this movie. I hated it so much. I wanted the guy to die. He didn't die. I want another movie just so I can watch that character die. He was such a reprehensible human being. I'm ashamed to be a human. But you had Star Trek Nemesis.
So I'm a defender of this movie. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people say it is. It's number 2 on my list because even though I don't think it's a terrible movie, I do think it's a terrible ending.
Yeah.
For a crew that to a lot of people are even a bigger deal than Kirk and a lot. And I don't think it's the way that they should have went out.
Now see, I've sort of blotted out a lot of this movie. Is this the one where Data does a Mary Poppins through space and gets fried? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the one, and a lot of people don't realize this.
He's Romulan or something.
The villain is Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and there are a lot of legitimate criticisms of this movie. I like it. I don't think it's perfect, but we need a 5th one before these people die.
I'm with Blaine. I wanted Data. I was always sad when Data wasn't Data anymore.
Yeah. I mean, and his brother, and it's Data. And,
yeah, it's close, but no cigar.
Just make a 5th movie before these people die, and give us a better ending.
Yep.
Yeah. And for number 1, you had
I had Valerian. How can you have a movie list without Valerian? Maybe a sequel would be better. It can't be any worse.
I disagree.
That's the trouble with sequels. If there's a sequel, there's always a chance it's going to be bad. There's no way this movie could be bad.
Here's my issue with a sequel here. The one defending characteristic of Valerian is it is
beautiful.
Gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
I don't think a sequel would get as high a budget, so it's probably not going to look as good.
They gave those people way too much money already.
Yep. Well, thankfully they did, and at least we got a pretty movie.
Yeah.
I doubt they'd get as much money, and thus the second one probably wouldn't be as pretty.
Probably not. Speaking of pretty, Ghostbusters 2016.
So I have a huge soapbox about this movie.
I like this movie. I watch this from time to time.
I went into this just not a lot of people.
Blank slate.
Very, very, meh, whatever. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
And came out of it just roaring about how amazing it was. And the only reason that they're not making a sequel to this movie that should, by all rights, have 1, 2, several sequels is because people just won't get. They won't get their heads out of their asses about it not being Bill Murray and crew.
Can we say that?
It's. Okay, I already said it. Get your head out of your ass. This movie was great.
Can we say it twice?
Might as well.
If you remember when we walked out of the theater, I went live on Facebook and I was just like, "Get over yourselves!
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
It was a
Go
good movie.
see it.
Yeah.
Everybody who's in it is brilliant.
Oh,
the story is great. There's so many homages to the original, but it's unique and it stands on its own legs. The visual effects are great. It's hilarious,
and it's got Thor.
And it's Chris Hemsworth is so good. And the commentary on like the original, like Emma and I just watched both the Ghostbusters movies, and I love them to death. They're some of my favorite movies. But kind of watching them in this modern era is a little cringy because just the way that Bill Murray talks to women throughout both of those movies is just like
like when he calls Sigourney Weaver kitten.
And then you watch this movie and it's such a breath of fresh air. Yeah. We need a second one. Make it happen.
Oh, we're not talking about this, are we?
Well, okay, so we brought it up
too soon.
brought it up last week.
Don't do it.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
We brought up last week.
How about
and
weeping?
It never even occurred to me that there was a possibility that Lewis hadn't seen it,
Yeah.
so he couldn't talk about it.
That's good.
But now we're back to the same problem that I was anticipating, where I want us to talk about this movie.
I don't think we can talk about
But
it.
we can't actually talk about it.
There is no way. If you have not seen this movie and you've managed to avoid all the spoilers,
Has it made $3 billion?
Good for you. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of billions.
That's a lot of billions.
Wow.
Is this
I
the
believe
highest grossing movie of all time yet?
And the fastest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see where
And rightly so.
they kind of like Star Wars congratulated Avengers, passing the lightsaber thing?
Yeah, it's like we're all part of the same family. Great job. What's
Yep.
good for you is good for us. And
Yeah.
I still think that they should have had this movie and Han Solo farther apart.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this thing has got legs and it is not going away anytime soon.
I've seen it twice, and I will definitely see it a third time.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it, if you're feeling a little hipsterish, if you're just worried about the crowds, just don't worry about it. Just go
see it.
Just
I
go
haven't
before.
seen it yet. I haven't
Guess
had
what
time.
Alex
we're
hasn't seen
doing
it.
tonight?
All right, show's over. We're gonna go see Avengers.
Bye. All right, we got to do something. At some point, we're gonna actually have to talk about what happens in this movie.
Thanos shoots first. Blaine. In that instance, Thanos shoots
Maybe
first.
we'll do like a separate stream where we talk about it. I don't know.
We would have to do like, hey, this is a spoiler.
No, it would
full-
say in the title.
Yeah.
Infinity
Major
War
spoilers.
spoilers. Blah blah blah. Blah
We're
blah.
talking about everything because there's so much to talk about.
There's so much
It's
to
like
talk
2.5
about
hours
this.
long.
Grimace. Grimace. 2 hours and 40 minutes, but it's fast.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
so
You don't
fast.
even recognize it or don't even realize it.
All right, we
And
gotta
then
move
Deadpool. All right.
on. Four Horsemen mailbag. Our question is for you again. In between the panels, what books do you want us to talk about? We're doing a contest. Go to YouTube. Go to our In Between the Panels first issue where we talk about The Killing Joke. Comments on the video. Tell us what book you want us to talk about. Get your name in a drawing for a free trade paperback. Yay! A lot of people do it. Maybe we'll pull 2 names.
Possibly.
Yes.
Possibly.
All right, we have a sale this week.
Not that one. Oh,
What
there
is
it
that one?
Not the one on the script.
BOGO on all back issues.
BOGO on all back
and
issues.
back issues are the ones in the cardboard boxes and the wooden boxes, not on the walls.
Yep.
Yes.
So we still have several thousand of comics that we brought up for Free Comic Book Day. Pulled them out of the archives. Come peruse them. Check them out. There's some really, really good stuff in there. Buy all the things. Buy a Slim Jim. Get 2%.
No.
That's a terrible idea.
It's terrible.
That's a terrible. Who would
Or
do that?
is it the
the
best?
best. That
idea?
could be the best.
It's like you sell a crate of Slim Jims and you're free.
I am free. Here's the keys. Bye bye.
I have been enjoying my freedom. My limited freedom.
You're yeah. You just got a longer leash.
Partial freedom, yeah. Been enjoying it well. All right, so we're moving on to our social medias, but please stick around because we have a very special post-credit scene. Please like us on Facebook at facebook.com/4horsemencomics. Follow us on Instagram at 4horsemencomics. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/4horsemencomics gaming. Follow us on Twitter at the number 4horsemencomics. Watch all of our streaming content at twitch.tv/4horsemencomics. And shop our TCG inventory at shop.4horsemencomics.com. And also check out our other 2 great locations in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania and Bridgeport, West Virginia.
Yes.
Yes. But
Yes.
Morgantown store is still the best store. Sorry, Mike.
Sorry, Mike. Sorry,
Mayor.
Eric.
Did we decide that you were going to be?
I don't think we did. Do you want to do one this week and I'll do one next week?
Well, how about you? Then you be Inigo this week.
Okay.
And I'll be Inigo next week.
Okay. All right.
Is that going to be confusing?
Probably. But I won't remember
Whatever.
it, so it won't
Who
matter.
cares? This is our show. Deal with it.
I'm hiding my own Easter eggs these days anyway. So. All right, ready for this?
Oh, before get out and vote. Oh no, wait, close. I hope you voted. Sorry,
You vote?
go ahead.
Yeah.
I voted.
Vote.
My sticker's
Vote.
gone.
Vote. Go vote.
Go vote.
All right. My father was slaughtered by a 6-fingered man. He was a great swordsman, my father. When the 6-fingered man appeared and requested a special sword, my father took the job. He slaved a year before it was done. Do we have a sword? We need a sword.
I was going to bring a sword and I forgot it. I'm a failure. I have never seen its equal.
The 6-fingered man returned and demanded it, but at 1/10 its promised price. His father refused. Without a word, the 6-fingered man slashed him through the heart. I loved my father. So naturally, I challenged his murderer to a duel. I failed. The 6-fingered man left me alive, but he gave me these. Marks with a pen. Is there more? Oh, there's more.
How old were you?
I was 11 years old, and when I was strong enough, I dedicated my life to the study of fencing. So the next time we meet, I will not fail. I will go up to the six-fingered man and say, hello, my name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Find out what happens next week.
It's a cliffhanger.
Ooh.
It's our first cliffhanger.
Oh, was that a Princess Bride pun?
Oh, yeah. I guess so.